I was in the banking world for over 30 years, so I am what they call a reformed banker. And therapy was great, all is well. But I left the corporate banking America about 3 years ago, started my consulting practice, and what I really wanted to do was work with businesses, the businesses that maybe had approached their bank and or not, just weren't quite sure how to proceed forward in this particular space, but they'd asked for funding and maybe they weren't able to secure it for a variety of reasons. Many times a business has a great concept and a great idea, but it just doesn't fit the bank's profile. So some banks are very open to different types of business industries and opportunities, and other banks are more restricted. So when a banker is looking at a loan request, they're actually looking at all 5 of those. And they're considering, and sometimes they put more weight on some than others. I think many lenders really look at the cash flow as an important part of their credit decisions, but they also like to see collateral as much as you can pledge. And as we look at SBA types of loans, if you have pretty strong cash flow, but you're light on the collateral, that is certainly a good option for you. So, are there any questions?
Just curious. Would you share your thoughts regarding franchising?
Oh, yes, sure. Yeah, I do think that franchising could be a great option for business owners. There are fees involved, of course, but a franchise has a proven track record. So they have worked with multiple businesses, maybe hopefully hundreds of businesses over time. They provide training, they provide resources, they basically can vet you as a business owner to see if you even qualify. They have qualifiers as a franchisor. So minimum net worth, you need to invest $40,000, and I'm making this, the dollar amount I'm making up. The minimum net worth is definitely a criteria. But every franchise is different. You know, there are actually franchises that help you choose a franchise. So there are a couple out there. So, right? I mean, doesn't that make sense? It's brilliant, right? So if you know, like you're leaving corporate America and you're not ready to retire and you've got another 10, 15 years to work, but you kind of don't know what you want to do. You know, you were working at AbbVie or Abbott for a long time. You can meet with those folks, these franchisors that help you choose what would be a good fit for you, and then you determine, do I want to work a 60-hour week in a restaurant? Probably not. But is there something that I can do that's more of a 40-hour week with something I adore, like painting, or, you know, those paint and sip things are, franchises are interesting. They're a little pricey in my mind to go into, but you have to determine where you are in your life cycle. Is this something you want to start? How much do you want to invest in the franchise? Is it something, and is it something that you're really going to be passionate about and really work with? And then there are, franchises are approved by the SBA. So if you were going to seek funding, which many people do, then you'd want to make sure that that franchise was approved on an SBA approved franchise. So that, you know, there are some situations where some franchises exercise too much control over a business, and you want to avoid that. You as a business owner want to have as much control as possible. But that was a great question. Does that answer your question?
Sure, thank you.
Awesome. Okay.
I mean, how do you compete against, you know, that? Because that's very popular now. Angel investors, venture, you know, downtown. I mean,
right.
It's almost banks are, you know, the banking loan is almost, you know, it's old school compared to what, you know, what
well, it isn't, you know, banks would not fund these types of projects, unfortunately. As a startup, I truly do think the accelerator is a great way to go. But a lot of times you make an application and that accelerator is across the country, and you want to uproot yourself and go, you know, maybe that's not the right process. But yeah, there are plenty of angel investors here in the Chicagoland area that are available. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to choose an accelerator. I just feel the value is strong, and you make some connections along the way that are pretty valuable. Mm-hmm.